There is an intense debate going on these days. As investors, should you do your investments on your own, read, get knowledge, manage things on your own, or should you engage a financial planner or a financial advisor? By engaging financial advisor, do you stand to gain anything? Are the costs that come with it, is it worth it or it's a waste of money? In this episode, I am going to discuss all aspects pertaining to engaging a financial advisor and leave the decision of engaging a financial advisor for yourself. Should you go for it or you should do things on your own? Dear viewers, this is NRI Money Clinic for you and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
During my practice as a financial planner, two distinct categories of people come and ask for help from me. One category of persons are those people who want to do some investment. They approach me and they ask for help how to do investments. I sit with them, do a fact find, we'll check what they are earning, what they are saving, what they want, what they have already done, what are the likes, dislikes, what kind of a life goals they are having, when will the life goals have to be achieved, the time that we have, all the things we cover during a fact find session and arrive at what needs to be done, when it has to be done, keeping all the likes and dislikes of my clients in mind. This is one category of people. They come with a clean slate and they will listen to the advice and it's fairly easy thing for us to handle those cases. There is a second category of persons who come to us. These are the people who started on their own, do-it-yourself kind of investors. They start, they read, they derive some knowledge out of the reading and start on their own. They ask their friends, they ask their colleagues and they start working on it. Within a couple of years, they'll realize that whatever they started is not working. They come to me and ask, look, this is what we started, this is what we read, but this is what's happening in our life. It's not working as it should be working. Can you help us by setting right our planning? This is most difficult part of the job because when such people come to us, we know for certain that things are not in order. All the reading, all the knowledge that they have assimilated has not come to the rescue. This is category 2 persons who come to us. Why did category 2 people, do-it-yourself investors, are failing? I had produced one video earlier, why investors fail. I am giving a link for that video here. If you have not watched this episode till now, it's time that you check out on this video and see the points that I have mentioned over there. One thing that we have to keep in mind is financial industry as such is advice based. Everybody in this line needs advice. It's just not that the investors need advice. Even people at the top, they need advice. I need advice. So I buy reports, the sell side report, I buy side report, I attend conferences, we interact with our fellow colleagues, we have our own forums, we constantly keep learning, we need inputs to advise our clients, so we need to be advised. The fund managers, they have to be advised. It's not that the fund managers are very intelligent persons, they have experience, they have the judgment. But the amount of knowledge that is there, the amount of information that is there, it is beyond the ability of one person to distill everything. So they are also being advised by a research team. Finally, the fund manager distill that knowledge that comes to him from different sources and he manages the funds. So the fund managers also need to be advised. The Reserve Bank governor, he needs to be advised. The finance minister, he needs to be advised. So what we need to understand here is that the industry as such, the finance industry is an advised based industry. There is no exception to the rule here. There is nothing to suggest that no one needs an advice here. This is the basic thing people have to keep in mind. So if you think you don't need advice, probably I beg to differ here. You also need to be advised. We have moved on from an age where there was no information to a age where there is an information overload. If you read more and more, you get more and more confused. Reading is just knowledge, but if you don't get the context right, if you're not able to apply the judgment, things can go wrong very badly. That's exactly what goes wrong with do it yourself kind of an investors. Why do they fail? It's because of this particular problem. They get carried away by the number of stars a fund is having. They get carried away by the predictions. They get carried away by the lure of return a particular fund might give them going forward. And in the bargain, their financial plan goes completely off the mark. Now let us look at the mutual fund industry. You have two sets of funds, a direct fund and a regular fund. Regular funds are the ones which are used by the financial advisors. There is a cost difference between these two set of funds. If you take a direct fund and between the direct and the regular fund, there is about 0.5% difference. It could be maximum difference might come in some of the funds could be about 0.6 or 0.7%. That's the maximum difference that can come. This difference is the amount that gets paid to your financial advisors. Are they worth it or are they not worth it? Some people extrapolate this factor. They say by saving this 0.5% over a period of 30 years, you stand to save so much of a money. But the crucial question is, are the investors prepared to stay for 30 years without an helping hand? Look at the information that is coming from the mutual fund industry. Investors do not remain invested for more than 3 years. This is what's happening. So where is the question of losing that money? So you extrapolate things, you show a small thing which is a 0.5%, extrapolate it over 30 years and say you stand to lose so much of a money. Have you considered another angle to it? Saving so much of a money applies to the greed side. Have you thought about what can happen if you do it wrong? What is the consequences of doing things wrong? How much do you stand to lose if you do it the wrong way? When people come to me, I tell him, look, my one advice for you, the right advice in once in 10 years can make you more money than the amount that you may stand to lose by opting for a regular fund. That's the power of hand-holding. That's the power of a financial planner. A decision to engage a financial advisor or not is not dictated by cost alone. It is dictated by convenience. Do you have enough time to monitor your investment? Do you have enough time to go through the reports? Do you have enough knowledge to see what happens during different market cycles? Do you have enough knowledge about how to build a proper asset allocation? All these considerations will come. In several things that we do in our life, we never look at the extra cost. For example, we cook at home, but we also go out and dine. We know how to drive, but still we engage a driver. So we do not extrapolate these extra costs. Why should you be extrapolating the cost that comes with the financial advisor? Human nature is such that, say, when they are in trouble, when the markets come down, when things are not working well, when they have lost job, when there is a salary reduction, when things are not going the way they want, they don't want to depend on themselves. It needs a reassurance of one another individual. See, every knowledge pertaining to the medical industry today is available on internet. Disease, medicine, surgical procedures, everything. You search for what is the cause of headache, it can take you up to the cancer. You look at, I'm coughing, what could be the reason, it can take you up to the cancer. So, just a knowledge alone cannot come to your help. What is required is a great judgment. That is why when you are in trouble, you go to a doctor. You ask his opinion. What does the doctor really give you? He gives you the assurance. He brings you the judgment. He has seen a lot of people. He knows what works. He knows what doesn't work. He knows what may be there, what may not be there. That is the ability of a doctor. Even when a doctor sees you and if he comes with a diagnosis which is of a major disease, you will not accept it. You are prepared to go and spend money and take one another second opinion or a third opinion. Your finances can't be treated in a different way. All the things that you do, you don't look at the cost. For example, you put money in a bank. and a bank FD gives you 6% or 7%. Do you know what's the cost of a bank FD? That is the difference between the interest rate which is paid to you by the bank and it lends the money at about 10% or 11%. 3 to 4% more than the FD rate is the difference. It is called net interest margin. That is the cost of a bank FD. You accept this bank FD wholeheartedly. But if an equity fund is going to give you 12%, you are worried about this 0.5%. But where the judgment comes, I will tell you. In 2008, during the market crash, some people called me a madman. People made fun of me. Why? When the markets have reached 18,000, I had given a call to exit the market completely. I was feeling very, very uncomfortable to stay in the equity market. Did the market listen to me? No. Market didn't do what I expected, but markets went to 21,000 and people literally made fun of me. But what happened there afterwards vindicated what I had suggested. Market dropped in no time back to 18,000. Instead of walking out of the markets, people poured more money. But when they poured money, market didn't stop at 18,000 nor did it go back to 21,000. It went back to 12,000. Thereafterwards, it went back to 8,000. At level of 12,000, people asked, what should we do? I told them, this is the time for you to pump in money into the market. Instead of that, these investors walked out of the market with a huge loss. That's the difference a financial advisor can make for you. If you heed to the advice, if you heed to the advice that comes from judgment, it can make huge amount of money. It can save you from a lot of losses. Do you have to be moved by 0.5% gain or do you have to work on generating good returns for a long time? This is a decision as investors you have to take. So dear viewers, to answer your question, should you engage a financial advisor or not? The answer is you must engage a financial advisor. There is no choice here. There could be a small fraction of persons, maybe 1%, maybe 2%. I can count very handful of people during my entire career of 25 years where people have done things very, very right. There are people who have got knowledge, but they will not have time. They don't see things on their own. So you have to engage a financial advisor. The only question is, which financial advisor? The financial advisor you engage should be the professional financial advisors. How do you recognize who is a professional financial advisor, who is not? Probably you have to wait for some more time. I'll produce one more video and tell you how you can identify a financial planner or a financial advisor as a professional one, whether he is acting in your best interest or not. Dear viewers, if you like the topic that I discussed today, like this video and share it with your friends and relatives. If you are watching this episode for the first time or if you have yet to subscribe for this channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with you with one more topic and one more video very, very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.